Okay, so welcome back. Welcome and good afternoon to all the participants and also Shri Anurag Jha ji, the guest faculty for the next two sessions. Anurag Jha is subdivisional engineer in Bagalkot under Monitoring South Organization of CWC Bengaluru. And Shri Anurag Jha will be taking the following two sessions which will cover topics related to TNP, MAS, survey report, vehicle logbook, and their maintenance. So I welcome Shri Anurag Jha ji to this training program, and I request him to he may start the session. Over to you, Anurag.
Thank you, Saurav sir. I wish you a happy new year, all of you. And thank you again, Saurav sir, for this opportunity.
Thank you, and wishing you also same happy new
Okay,
year.
so we'll take this forward. I think, okay, we'll take this forward from here right in. The topic that we have is written on your screens. TNP register and mass register. It's update how we enter things in TNP and mass registers. Measurement book, upkeep of storeroom, survey report of TNP items and their disposal, then vehicle logbook and their maintenance. These are the topics that we'll be seeing in the next 2 hours. So before we start that, I wish to introduce myself. I am Anurag Jha. I've worked as a junior engineer in Lower Ganga division, Patna, and then as a junior engineer headquarters division at Bangalore, Central Water Commission, Bangalore, Monitoring South Organization. And currently I am posted as sub-regional engineer, MKSD Bagalkot. I think I'm audible to all. Can someone confirm? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before we start these topics, let me tell you certain references that we have used here. They are listed on your screen right now. General Financial Rules 2017, it's the latest amendment ones. Then CPW Work Manual. You can get this document on CPWD website. Then there's CPWD Accounts Code. Then there's Manual of Works Audit. This particular one we have taken less references from. And then there's a Department of Expenditure Staff Car Rules. This was used for vehicle. Apart from this, we have also employed the latest delegation of financial powers that was released a few days back. So these are the sources. I must also advise you in the later period of time, there are certain rules which may be conflicting between these particular, references. So in these cases, if there is a certain contradictions, then works manual will be used for the execution. Like that will take precedence in cases of execution, and CPWD accounts code will take precedence in cases of audit related matters or something which will have greater importance in audit cases. And more about these sources. First of all, I think all are comfortable with Hindi, or should I be taking this Hindi or English together? Is there anybody who does not understand Hindi? Because that will be comfortable for me as well. Gentlemen from CSRO, ladies and gentlemen from CSRO, Telangana, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Okay, understood. We got your remarks, Kavya ma'am. See, these rules are there, but most of TNP, especially for TNP, MAS, there are certain gray areas which are not covered by these rules. So we are following what has been the precedent, like what officers before us have been following, what is the general practice. So there may be some discussions about that. When we come to those topics, we'll do that discussion, because think of this whole presentation as being collaborative, like we both have something to share. And this learning will be two-way. Even though I'll be presenting, I'll take inputs from what you are doing in those cases. So we'll go ahead with this one. Yeah. First of all, what are the two modes that the stocks are done? There are generally two modes. In one mode, the stock is maintained. Stock means what? All the articles, it may be TNP, it may be MS. TNP being the permanent nature of articles, those articles which are time hardy. And then there are consumables or articles which are very less, which stay for a lesser time, जो कि कम time में they get destroyed or their use period is over. Those articles are called MAS, and those articles which stay or of permanent nature, have metals in them. Very, very crude definition. There's no particular definition that I could find in my research. So this certain accepted lists kind of, which all offices follow, that these articles are TNP and these articles are MS. We'll go to that when we come there. तो ये जो स्टॉक का है वो उसमें दो टाइप से हो जाता है. या तो आप हर एक ऑफिस पे, whether it is at your division या सब डिविजन या इवन एट साइट्स, आप या तो वहां मेंटेन कर सकते हो स्टॉक, मतलब हर जगह स्टॉक अलग मेंटेन करते हैं उस ऑफिस के इंचार्जेस, और द अदर वे अराउंड वेयर वन सिंगल ऑफिसर मेंटेन्स all the instruments in charge, and the others like subdivision engineers or site offices, they get it from their indent but they do not maintain it. In CWC what happens is, I think it is generally the case that all offices, whether it is division or subdivision and sometimes even sites, they maintain their own TNP and MS register. In some cases where there are no JEs at sites, then that is maintained at subdivision office. And one more thing, the slides are prepared with reference to the relevant rule positions at the bottom, or maybe it is written in blue. I'm pointing it through a laser pointer. These are the references. So for future point of time, just in case if you are in journey and you are not able to cover up, you may refer to this at a later point of time. And I'll also share my number at the end of the session. You can contact me directly. We can have a discussion, whatever is necessary. So the general administration of these stores is with the divisional officer. In our case, that will be executive engineer. Like all stores, all responsibilities pertaining to him originally belong to the executive engineer. What kind of responsibilities can this be? Acquisition of stores, like the procurements or maybe the receipts. Then their custody and distribution, like people can make indents, and according to the indent, division office may, decide to distribute them, because these TNPs are may be limited in nature and the requirements may be more or less. Depending on that, they can be, the final decision should be of the executive engineer. And even if their usage period is complete, their disposal may happen. So that also vests with the executive engineer. However, as you can understand, this is quite a big responsibility, because it is these TNPs and MAS are located at several places throughout the jurisdiction of the office. So to speak, subdivision offices as well as site offices as well. So obviously, executive engineer entrusts this responsibilities and duties to other government officers. That could be assistant director or subdivisional engineer, and later down the lane it would be junior engineer. So that is the case. And the people who will be interested with these duties will be responsible for maintaining these records and ensuring that the records are correct. So this is the reference for these these rules. Okay. See, GFR 2017. GFR 2017 is the mother of our rules. All rules stem from it. Even CPWD has been elaborated based on the rule positions of GFR. The detailing may have been different, but the rule positions have the same principles. Okay. So whenever, since we are a technical organization and CPW is a bigger technical organization, we are supposed to follow the principles and rules that are being followed in CPWD for these TNP, etc. cases and procurements. And procurement is different. So what is the objective of this inventory management? Inventory management is a separate chapter in GFR, General Financial Rules 2017. GFR is a document which is released by the government, I think Ministry of Expenditure or Ministry of Finance, I'm not remembering correctly. The document is enclosed. I'll be sharing a zip file with you all where all references have been kept so that you can ready reference for it for yourself. So GFR has a chapter of inventory management, and these principles apply to all ministries and departments. And obviously certain organizations like CPWD, they have their own detailed departmental procedures for this inventory management. And we as CWC officers follow CPWD rules wherever possible. And what is the use of inventory management? As you can read in the bold yellow fonts, it's to ensure proper receipt, custody, accounting, verification, and disposal. Ensuring proper receipt means whatever has been given, like whatever agency or whatever procurements have happened, it is to ensure that it is written correctly in your TNP register. Later we'll know that it is entered in TNP 13, so proper quantity with proper details must be entered. Think of inventory management as a practice which you will carry forward to your next successes. There'll come a time when you are not here, I'm not here, even your successors will not be there, but your written TNP records, your written MS records will supersede your period at the Central Water Commission. And if you maintain it better, it will be beneficial and less effort taking for the next people to come. So always ensure that your inventory management is done top-notch way, because it ensures that anyone can read your records, anyone can read your records correctly, and they don't have to look through different piles in their storerooms looking for a single value. Please do not do that to your juniors. I understand spending 5 years in this organization, there may have cases where you would have to take the pain of finding everything out for yourself, but promise yourself that next generation does not face these kinds of things. So we'll make our records as clean as possible. Another is custody. Custody is like who is currently holding. Like if I want to track a TNP item, I must be able to know from the TNP register itself whether, like with whom or which office it is lying with. Accounting. Obviously, when you do this receipts and custody, this accounting becomes very clear. Then verification. It is easier for you to have to check the number of inventory items that you have if you have a written record. This is the whole reason why we are maintaining these records. And then when these records have served their intended life, they need to be disposed from the stores. So these records help that way. So what do we do when we get receipt of inventory and initial checks? So what do we do when we get goods? Like when they can be received either through procurement, or maybe any other office or section issues it to us. Maybe they don't have need or they have surplus, or it is the usual way of distribution. In any case, whenever we receive goods, the officer in charge, in this case, that would be junior engineers. The very prominent and very critical officers in these cases are junior engineers, and a heaps load of work is with them. Most responsibilities, most works need to be done through them. So what will JE do on receipt of goods? He will verify goods with respect to contract terms. Contract terms, I mean the number, like the specification. If there's a technical product, there will be specification. Probably brand would also be there. Then there's sizes, dimensions, even weights. And you can also visually inspect it, whether it has been used or it is brand new, the condition. I mean the condition. Not just for the usage scenario, but also for damages, if it is being damaged or not. And when you are done with it, it can be done either through you or through any other party, third party. If those people who are working in GEM would have noticed that whenever they are proceeding for the bill payment of any procurement of any item, they are asked during the CRAC whether the inspection has been done and whether it is done by you or third party. Generally, since our job is of technical nature, we don't need any third parties. But just in case if there is any requirement, we can also get it inspected. But the principle says before you receive it, you need to check the condition. In short, it is the same thing. Like you have to check the condition. It is there for the intended purposes and it is as per intended specification. And once it is received, once you have signed the receipt, then you need to enter it into your stock register. There are stock registers in GEM as well. You need to enter the page number, I guess, or serial number, if I'm remembering correctly. Someone from you may correct me. I think it is page number or sheet number, I guess. Anyways, when you have received it, then you have to issue a receipt certificate for the designated store officer. He can keep it, the store officer may keep it as an acknowledgement, whether he has issued it to you and you have already got it. That acknowledgement needs to be there. We'll come to that will be coming later as well, later on as well. Now, one thing, issue and receipt of stores, like whatever stores you are indenting. See, there are two people. One person is asking for something. The process of asking is called indenting. INDENTING. And one person is issuing it. Okay. So the person who will be doing procurement or the person who will be issuing already procured items to another office will have to work on the principle of on the basis of indent. And this proper form for indents, we'll come to that later on. And once you have received what indented articles you had given to the storekeeper, then you can issue acknowledgement of receipt. Like you have already received, you are giving that acknowledgement. Sometimes what happens is this issue of items will need to be done to external contractors as well. I can state you a case if you have sweepers at your or housekeeping staff at your place. Mostly contracts do not include consumables, like the GEM contracts that are made for hiring of outsourcing services for sweeping do not contain consumables. So you have to issue. The storekeeper has to, or a junior engineer in charge must be issuing those consumables to sweepers. So although consumers are not recoverable material, but in case they are also need your let's say mowing equipment, lawn mowing equipment, then you need to issue it to them and you can recover it back through TNP 14 and 15. So officer in charge, that is junior engineer, is responsible for safe custody of stores. You have to ensure that the items that are kept in the stores are in safe custody and they're not liable for damage or what do you say, degradation. So for that, proper storage conditions must be there and special care must be given for valuable and combustible items. because it may lead to a fire hazard if you do not take care of it. Then there comes stock accounts and physical verification. There are several types of forms for these. Fixed assets have different form, GFR 22. All are included in your zip file that I'll be giving you for your reference. Then there are library books. Then there are heritage assets, GFR 24. This is a special case. I don't think most of us would be aware of this. See what happens. Sometimes there was some time back there was a advice from director, not say director, member RM. He said that those items which are of antique nature. I think Ankit is present, and there was some request for Bagalkot subdivision itself. I think Ankit Sen was Jai out that time. So there was a request that uh, old antique items will be out for display for beautification purposes. Now, these old items, as you can understand, are they unserviceable or are they in working condition? Obviously, they are unserviceable. So, if we want to keep it, so we do not have to auction them. For that, for maintenance of those kind of assets, these forms are made. GFR, that is one of the usage scenario. There can be other usage scenario as well. And one more thing, these heritage assets, they are believed to have some value as well. Like if there's some antique, obviously it will have some intrinsic value. It won't be sold as per the scrap rates. So this GFR 24 also has that column that what is the intrinsic value of this as of now. But generally we do not have to look into these things. So I'll not go much deeper because we have 91 slides to complete in 2 hours. And I understand this is a new year, so you'll want to go home on time. Anyways, going ahead. Physical verification of inventory is to be carried out annually. And one more thing, at the time at which this physical verification is taking place, the custodian or the storekeeper, say junior engineer, has to be present out there. It cannot be that you can conduct a verification in his absence or her absence. And as soon as discrepancies is found out, what can be the discrepancy in a physical verification? And what is exactly physical verification? Physical verification means if your records say that certain item is of 10 quantity only, and then physical verification means actually going out in the store and finding them where they are and noting whether they are actually 10 in number or less or more. So discrepancy in this case would mean a surplus amount. That means the amount that was found actually was 12, let's say 12, then it is called a surplus, and if it is less than 10, it will be deficit. Both these cases have to be reported to the competent authority at the earliest, and further procedure after this point of time, after for both these discrepancies will be different. We may be discussing it later on. I have a small question. If on physical verification, it is found that the stores is surplus, like say a particular item was found to be more than what is written in the book. What do you think? It's an important question, guys. What do you think would have happened? Someone, I'm up for answers. What could be the
Disposed
reason
but
for
not auctioned.
showing surplus?
Disposed but not auctioned.
Sorry?
Disposed out but not auctioned.
Yeah, that can be also the reason. One more thing. There's one more reason. There can be many, but good, Ankit. Any other person?
Uh, for example, if it is a level stab, then it would be maybe broken into two pieces. That's why it seems like two, but it is actually one.
I did not get you actually. Can you repeat, please?
For example, if any level staff is there, for example, 5 is there.
Okay.
So if in any case, in the meantime, if it is damaged, okay,
Okay. Okay.
so it seems to be like 7 or 8, but it's actually 5.
That is also possible. Yes, correct. Very
So you
practical
can't.
scenario. Any other answers? Suppose there's a case. Suppose there's a case where I have bought something. I've already procured it, but I forgot to mention in the register. I did not take it into my accounts. Then also the inventory will show more number of items. That is also one case. You can all think of more such scenarios. I think these three are the most common. We'll go ahead. So stores may be declared surplus and surplus or obsolete. Obsolete, that means it can no longer be used, or it is not as per like it's too old to be used. Obsolete means that. And then the other is unserviceable. Unserviceable has a particular category, like it cannot be made to work further. Even if I'm trying to uh, repair it, the repair will be economically unviable. What do you mean by economically unviable? Let's say we have had similar cases, like we had an AC. I'll give you an example of Monitoring South organization. We had an AC which was almost 10 years ago, 10 years old. That AC was requiring repairs every 6 months, and we were fed up of it. And usually what repairs it would use, it was priced at around, I think, 30 or 40,000. I don't remember the exact values right now. And then it was for, last time it was repaired for 15 odd, okay, 15,000 or 20,000. And then again it was looking for repairs. So in this case, what is the repair cost was more than getting a new one. So that is meant by economically unviable. Economically unviable means where the decision that you are taking is not economically sound. The expenditures need to make sense on paper and financially. It should lead to an overall, what do you say, reduction in expenditure to the government, to the public exchequer. So stores may be declared surplus, obsolete, unserviceable, and you'll have to record the reason why they are being named as unserviceable. We'll show you in short while. Then when surplus is declared, then it is taken as a receipt. We'll pretend, although we are not getting it from someplace else, it is already in our stores, it is already in our custody, but we'll have to make an entry of the difference, like difference of numbers. Difference as in how much surplus of the quantity is there. Like my record says 10. I am finding in my store, I am finding 12. Then the surplus amount is 2. 12 minus 10. I have to enter those two items as receipt in my TNP 13 with obviously approval from competent authority, and certain remarks will have to be made in the TNP 13. For disposal of these articles, whenever these obsolete or unserviceable items are declared, obviously we cannot keep them indefinitely in our custody because we have limited space, we have limited store sizes, and we also have to make space for future procurements. So in those cases, we have to smartly manage our space and also our time. We cannot continue the one unserviceable items through several of the sheets. It takes a toll on the junior engineer to carry it forward and forward without any good use. So we tend to dispose it. There are certain procedures. First servo report it is done. We'll go through that later on. But the principle is the disposal should be public. It should be a public auction. Means can be different. Public auction means it should be open for everybody. Anybody can participate. Second principle is it has to be advertised to the point that we have exhausted our options. Like it is well advertised. It should be well advertised. It shall be assumed that any person living in India should have got, who's interested in these things obviously, should have access to those advertisements. So there are certain methods that we are that we are using. One of the most common method that we are going nowadays is GEM. GEM has option for auction. We'll be covering that in the later part of the lecture. Then disposal documents have to be prepared in form GFR 10. Excuse me, I should have also included it CPWD 18. I think I've not included it. But we'll make amends in the PPT later on. All right. So all losses of inventory require sanction. And these losses should be classified and investigated. Like there can be several reasons of loss. Can someone describe the scenarios in which loss can happen? I'm talking about practical scenarios. There are no wrong answers. The more we participate, the more we learn. Please, I'm up for answers.
That, sir.
Yes. Correct. Think of something more.
सर डिस्चार्ज लेते समय फिश वेट गिर गया पानी में.
Very practical example again. Good, Vatan ji. More examples.
नेचुरल कैलमिटी और फायर हजार्ड में भी एनीथिंग.
बहुत अच्छा प्रवीण जी. We're getting some great answers. Come on, we can add more to the points. You'd be surprised to know कि कभी-कभी हम रिपेयर के लिए देते हैं और वहां भी चीजें खो जाती हैं. Like it is not necessarily कि हमसे ही खोएंगी. Sometimes it happens that we have given issued TNPs to other agencies and they have lost it. There are several separate provisions for that as well. Since our time is very limited, we won't be covering everything. There are a lot of slides to cover still. Okay, we'll go to the next slide now. Okay, this is the GFR Form 10. It is for report of surplus, obsolete, unserviceable stores for disposal. You can see, I think, is it visible for all, especially on those with mobile phones? If not, I've already included in the zip file. You can refer it later. I can read it for you. The first column is for item number. You can write serial numbers here, okay? Particulars of stores. What is the name of the item, then the quantity, the weight, the book value, which what condition it is in. Is it unserviceable? Is it obsolete? Then the year of purchase, and then mode of disposal, how we are doing. Obviously, we'll be going for public auction. The sale is different. And then whatever remarks you want to keep, like if you want to keep here the references to where it is kept, like which registers it is kept, TNP 15, page numbers, volumes, you can mention in the remarks section. Okay. Then this sale account. Sale account is when we are getting approval for release of these items. Although I don't think we use these much well, so we'll be proceeding further. Nonetheless, these are covered, and if you want to read more about them, I've also referenced these. The PPT is very large, so I'll have to skip some content. Next section is TNP items and their upkeep. So what are TNP? As I have told you already, we will not be covering this. I can also tell you the purpose. Obviously, we have discussed as that as well. Controlled custody. tracking, and later on we have also mentioned it is easier to auction when they are already maintained. In CPWD books, CPWD publications, TNP is classified in two ways: Class A and Class B. Class A is general or ordinary nature TNP, and Class B is special equipment. These special equipment, the Class B, is used in specific works only, and they include heavy machinery in specialized tools. But as such, I think in CWC, we are not following this classification. We have only one class, and it's not further classified out there. Maybe they are grouped according to the use, but not classified. Is there some division amongst you who is classifying these items as Class A and Class B? Please let me know. I think I'm assuming that there's no division office which is doing that. So there is classification in terms of heads through which they are to be procured. And like for heavy machinery, we are using machines and equipments head. For computers and printers, I think it is ICT or D, I'm not remembering correctly. We have our DFPRS, we can refer it obviously. I've given you an example. So different categories of TNP are categorized on different heads. That is the point I wanted to make. Then TNP ledger. TNP ledger is form 15. I'll tell you one thing. We'll go through TNP 13 first. Yeah. So there are only two things that can happen if you are dealing with TNP or MAS or any kind of articles. Either you can receive them or you can issue them. There's no third alternative. Obviously, you can store them, but that is inherent. We are not going to that. So TNP 13 is the record of all those items that you'd be receiving, all those tools and plants items. I think I've not covered the TNP and MAS difference, but only this one brief difference that I had given you, that those items which are of permanent nature. I can give you some examples like computers, printers, these are TNPs, your furnitures are TNPs, your car. So this particular class of things, and we have this from precedence. I don't think this particular document which differentiates items between TNP or MAS. And if there is, please share those documents, whoever has it, in the group. It will be for the collaborative good. Like I can also update my PPTs for future, and we can make it more vivid and more helpful. And also some items are also being changed over time from TNP to MAS based on their use case. MS, like I told you, I'm again repeating, it is for the for short-lived items. Let's say they're plastic items, or they are, let's say, consumables. Sometimes there is contradiction between different offices and even officers regarding whether what should be taken as TNP, what should be taken as MS. You can do one thumb rule. Whatever is being followed in office, please follow it. And if you want to change something, do not change it on your own. Have it discussed from your senior officers. Take their views, take their advice, take their directions in that regard. Okay. And if there's any kind of document which gives clear demarcation, or maybe in the future if there comes, we'll understand that and we'll include it in our case. So TNP 13 is coming back to again those registers. TNP 13 is the register in which all items that are received are taken, like they are recorded. And these records are triplicate in nature. These records are triplicate in nature. Although the CPWD says that JE headquarter, storekeeper retains one record for him, and they send 2 copies to SD, AD2 or ADU, whoever is next in command to him. And they again, like the SD, AD2 and AD, they again retain 1 copy for the tools and plant ledger, TNP 15. Tools and plant ledger is TNP 15. And then they pass on the other copy to the executive engineer for making necessary payment or adjustment of values if required. Generally, what happens, this is not required. People do not send this to the executive engineer. We only certify while we are making procurements that these and these have been entered. That certificate is mostly enough. Whenever you are raising a bill or doing anything, we already give a certificate. That certain cert has been TNP 13, 14, 15, whatever is the case. Sorry, TNP 13 will be the case only, and TNP 15. We have entered into those registers, the page numbers are written, and that is certified by junior engineer and cross-checked by the next in command, that will be SD or assistant director 2 or assistant director. So that will be the case, but what happens in reality is TNP 13 is sent to the person if it is within office. If it is within office, like one section of office is issuing to the other section, then the office which is issuing the TNP 13 will be when one office is receiving TNP from other office, the receiving office will issue one TNP 13 to the issuing office. Like one of the copy will be sent to them and two of the copies remains with them, with the receiving office. In case it is being received or it is being procured, then you do not need to send any acknowledgement in the form of TNP 13. Bear that in mind. Any confusion so far? We'll take one or two confusions if there are. Okay, we'll go ahead. Also, as per CPWD works account code, these acknowledgements of receipt need to be either signed by SD, AD2, AD or the divisional officer. I'll show you a TNP form 13. This is the form 13 that is in this one document called Book of Forms of CPWD, wherein you'll get all the relevant forms that you need. And these book of forms are included in the zip file. You can have it referred. I've also put individual form numbers with their number as the rename. I've renamed these individual forms. I can show you. I guess it is here. See. This here is the book of forms, and then there are forms 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a summary of incident, etc. All these things are included here. Coming back to the PPT. So I'll show you one example of the TNP 13 that is filled at one of our divisions. I hope everybody will be able to see. This is the file that was not being able to be downloaded. Wait. This needs to be. I think this is legible now. Can you read these things? This is TNP 13, CPWD, CPWA 13. Then the date is there, serial number is there, invoice number with date is there. In purchase, supply order, indent. If you are purchasing through GEM, you can write GEM, or if there is supply order differently, you can mention the supply order in this column, 4A and 4B. Then there's source of receipt. Whom are you getting it? Are you procuring? If you are procuring it, then you need to write the name of the agency that is supplying. If you are getting it from some other office, you need to write the office name of the issuing office. Name of receipt will be simply the name of the article that you are getting. Then there's quantity. Then there are units. It can be units, it can be sets, it can be pairs. Whatever is the applicable unit, you can write it here. Then there's rate. Rate will be for per item. How much rate was there? See, this is important. Why this is important? Why we are writing rates of the items that we are procuring? Because later, at a later point of time, when we are going to auction these items, we'll be needing their prices for understanding depreciation and their current value for auction. So this is very critical. Whenever you are making any procurement, please, please, please always write their rates, always write the date on which it is mentioned, and also their TNP reference at the end of the page. You should must write this TNP reference where it is entered outside TNP. TNP 15 would be tools and plants ledger, combined it is called. It may be in different volumes, so you always keep your TNPs in volumes if it is not done already. Mention the page number, you can always find the serial number, you need not write the serial number. Okay, so this was the rate, then amount will be
Sir,
obviously.
what does column 1 and 2 refer for, serial number and date?
Serial number is on the day, how many, serial number is not that serial that you're understanding. Like every item does not have a serial number. Serial number है मतलब कितने items आप दे रहे हो. Serial number 1 में let's say computer है, serial number 2 पे printer है, इस तरह से. Date है यानी कि date of receipt है वो. When you have received it. ये है. आपने order place किया होगा पहले कभी. हो सकता है आप जेम से खरीद रहे हो. You have placed the order, let's say in this case. We have placed the order on 24/11/2022, but we have received this on this date, 9/3/2023.
9/3/2023.
Yes, हमने इस दिन receive किया है इसको. This is the receiving date.
Okay, sir, this is PRC, right, sir?
PRC नहीं, CRAC is the final step. PRC को आपने count करोगे जिस दिन आपने CRAC की. PRC हाँ right, sorry, correct. आपने जिस दिन उसको
Because
receive किया होगा.
invoice date is 11/3/23. मतलब
Invoice date.
invoice date is after the receipt date.
हाँ, इसमें तो ऐसा कुछ लग रहा है. Actually, this is a boat. This one was boat. Maybe he has raised invoice after the delivery, which is usually the case. In GEM, it is different. Sometimes the invoice
Actually,
date
sir,
is before. Yes.
these are the practical issues we
I
everyone
understand.
faces. Yes,
I understand, and I appreciate that you took it up because that will increase the learning. जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया कि ये ऐसी चीजें होती हैं, ये चीजें हमें बताने वाला कोई नहीं होता.
Yes,
It is from collective understanding that we can understand these things. यहाँ पे इसका मतलब डेट जो है, ये एंट्री जो हो रही है, आपने उसको अपने रिकॉर्ड में तभी लिया जब आपके पास वो आया. ठीक है. So this date is the date on which you are receiving it. Invoice will be through which you are receiving it. Sometimes it happens that the invoices कुछ ऐसा हो सकता है कि invoice उसने बाद में generate किया. Generally does not happen, but in some cases it happen. Irrespective, जिस दिन भी उसका invoice number है, आप उस दिन का invoice डाल दोगे. ठीक है. Invoice date भी हमने इसलिए डाला ताकि हमें रेफरेंस, यहाँ मांग नहीं रहे हैं. They are only asking for invoice. Their understanding कि ये सेम ही होगा डेट, बट वी नो तभी हमने लिखा है यहाँ पे डेट, इसकी डेट अलग है. ठीक है.
so that we can find it later.
आप जहां तक हो सके इसको इंफॉर्मेटिव बना दो ताकि आपको भी फ्यूचर में रेफरेंस करने की जरूरत पड़े तो यू कैन, आप ना भी रहो तो कोई देख सकता है. यहाँ पे एक चीज मिसिंग है, वो यहाँ पे है सब डिवीजन ऑफिसर का साइन. इट्स नीड टू बी साइन, इट नीड्स टू बी साइंड, बट ये साइन नहीं हुआ है तो उससे कोई मतलब, ये होना चाहिए. एनीवेज, incidental charges, can we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So incidental charges may be those charges which are apart from the intrinsic value of the item. It may be for transportation, it may be for, let's say, in this case, it is for IT, what do you say? Ankit, what do we call it? This particular charge? I think it is called commissioning, ICT charges. Installation, commissioning, and testing. Yeah, that is the name. So these charges are included, the total charge becomes this. Okay. Here, this is my sign itself. This is the storekeeper sign. I have signed here, and here it should be signed by sub-divisional engineer. So we'll go ahead from this one. Okay. Then, wait. I think Yeah. We have seen the TNP 13 form. Then there's TNP 14 form. TNP 14 forms means issue. Always remember, like, make it foolproof. Remember that whenever you are going to receive any stuff, any item, it will be taken in TNP 13. And whenever you are going to issue it, it will be in the TNP 14 form. Okay. So the articles of tools and plants that are to be issued will be done from form 14, and they have to be signed by executive or SDE or AD2, whoever is in charge. And also make sure if you are issuing anything, especially TNP items, if you are issuing any office, make sure that you get TNP 13 in return. Like if you are issuing TNP 14, you are giving one article to them, but if they are receiving an article, they must be keeping it in their accounts. For that, they'll be needing TNP 13. So TNP 13 stands as an automatic acknowledgement of entry in stores and receipt combined. So before issue of any item, the article has to be indented by the office which needs it. So there are three copies of indent are made. 2 are given to sub-divisional engineers or executive engineer, whatever is the case. And 1 is retained by the person who is indenting as office copy, obviously. Then 1 copy which the office which will be supplying this indent will be kept with them for their TNP update and as a record, and the other will be given to executive engineer. Generally, this does not happen. Generally, what happens in Central Water Commission, the office which gives indent is signed by the executive engineer. Then it comes to the person who needs to issue, and then it is kept in record there itself. But the laid out procedure is this, what I'm telling you. This is again the copy of TNP 14 form. It's not filled yet. It is the actual form as mentioned in that book of forms. I've retained it for your use. I'll show you one filled out form. Okay, Mr. Amar Bhatti would have been having some nostalgia right now. So this is one of the CPWDA 14 forms. It is being filled. Okay. See, this is number. What is this number? I think for every book, in our office, what we did was for every financial year, we used to give a number. Like the first item that is procured, that is issued, will be given this way with financial year. Then the date on which it is being issued, then the division, whatever is applicable. The first column is serial number again. Then the second column is the name of the article that is being issued. Then third column is important. It maintains that the indented quantity may also be mentioned and the actual issued quantity should also be mentioned. Obviously, the issued should not be greater than indented. That is the first principle. So always insist, those people who are in charges and who require to issue stuff, they may ensure that they do not issue more than indented. Always keep it supported. Unless in special circumstances, you can always do it, but get the indent later on. Then there is rate, amount. In this column, head of accounts also needs to be entered, but I think it might not have been available at that time to him. Then there's here we do not need to write this purchase through the gem. You can always write in remarks if needed. You can write it here, remarks 15. So, and then next column is name of the person to whom the articles are to be delivered and his signature. It may be the person who has come to take. Okay. So in this case, it is whoever the person is. And the indenting officer is different. If it is available, usually it might happen for your case that the indenting officer is not very next to you. So you won't be able to sign your indenting officer, TNP 14. That might be a distant possibility. If he is in the same office, then it is okay. But otherwise, it is very different. And so this person who has come to get these items may be made to sign on this place in for, like in place of the divisional subdivisional officer, if it is not the same person who has come. Then yeah, then supplying officer, that would be you have signed here already, and then the person who's receiving it must sign here. Actually, it should be this person, Shiv Ranjit Sharma here, but I think the indenting officer has itself signed. Then the ledger keeper is also again J. He can sign here, and the division accountant needs to sign here, but they do not usually. Sometimes what happens, JE signs in the ledger keeper, and sometimes executive or SD signs here. So I would like to know what is the prevalent condition in your office, like in which columns are you signing? I'm asking this because we have had discussions regarding this for several people, and I am seeing different practices being followed in different offices. Okay, I'd be looking for answers.
So we are signing at supplying officer, sir.
You guys are signing at supplying offices. Both are correct. Okay. And others, anyone is signing at ledger keeper? No? Okay. I think the general consensus is that we are signing at supplying officers because you are the people who are directly interested with the stores and you are supplying it. One more thing to notice is you can also kindly refer to the column 14. It's mentioned TNP ledger folio number. For more clarity, you can also mention TNP 15 details here. It will be better. Okay. It will be better for reference in the future. Just in case you have to tally what certain articles, if they were issued to and when they were issued, it will be better if you mention TNP 15 here.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Why
please.
they have given two separate signs for supplying officer and ledger keeper? Is there any difference in that?
Sorry, these are in the 12 issued this.
Yes, yes. I mean, why two?
My understanding is it is issued the name of items should be in short here.
Okay.
Because it does not otherwise does not make sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
सर एक्चुअली अगर TNP 14 का सर कभी कभी क्या होता है कि हम लोग जैसे सामान आते ही सर कंसर्न ऑफिस जैसे चीफ ऑफिस या ऐसी ऑफिस में अर्जेंट रिक्वायरमेंट होती है तो हमें मतलब तुरंत ही उसको इश्यू करना होता है मतलब तुरंत वहीं पे हम पहुंचा देते हैं
हाँ, मैं उसके बारे में बताऊंगा अभी। आप चालान बुक या इसकी बात कर रहे हो शायद, आर यू?
जी सर, तो मतलब उसका तरीका क्या रहेगा सर? टेम्परेरी इशू दिखा करके फिर उसको आगे की डेट में परमानेंट इशू दिखाना पड़ेगा
नहीं,
सर
मैं
क्या?
TNP 15 में आपको दिखाऊंगा मैं, ठीक है?
जी
TNP
सर।
15 में दिखाऊंगा, आपको देना होता तो वो एक्चुअली पेंडिंग रहेगा, आप चालान से कर सकते हो उनको इशू। चालान
जी
इसके
सर।
लिए बहुत अच्छा ऑप्शन है कि आपको अगर इमीडिएटली देना तो आप चालान दे दो, जो रिसीव करना है उसे साइन ले लो, फिर आप बाकी की प्रोसीजर बाद में करना टैली करके। जनरली हम लोग यही करते हैं, 1 महीने में या फिर एक बार बैठ के कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि हर दिन जो नेचर ऑफ वर्क है, आवर नेचर ऑफ वर्क इज सो बिजी दैट वी कैन नॉट एंटर एवरी टाइम a TNP and MAS comes in. That is a
यस
practical
सर।
problem. So, but at that time, in these cases also, you have to keep a mechanism of accountability. आपको पता, आपके पास ऐसा रिकॉर्ड होना चाहिए कि सामने वाले ने लिया है, इन सम मैनर उनका कोई सिग्नेचर होना चाहिए, ताकि आप उनसे बाद में TNP पे साइन करा लो. You should have kind of proof.
यस
तो चालान हेल्प, मैं आऊंगा वहां पे, मैं एक्चुअली TNP 15 के केस में बताने वाला था सारी चीजें, बट आपने पूछ दिया तो ठीक, अभी बताता हूँ, मैं दिखा भी देता हूँ आपको एक्चुअली. ये चलाना है, ठीक है। छोटा कर देता हूँ मैं थोड़ा। यस, एक मिनट, आप इसको देख लीजिए जरा।
जी सर। Sir, we challan, but not in so much detail. It's very
नहीं,
detailed.
so in certain offices there is. I think in LGD2 there was. We have made it recently in MSO. And if you need, I can send you some formats that you can cover. It is very easy for you and very less hassle. आप बस आराम से टेकन ओवर, आप किसी को बैठा दो यहाँ पे who can get these details for you, get it verified, and यहाँ पे serial number etc. देखो कितने अच्छे से उन्होंने दिया हुआ है. I think this is the new JE is mentioning it very well. Even Amar as well mentioned it very well. Serial numbers, IDs, everything is mentioned here. If you want to write more remarks, you can write more in remarks. Then one person is taken over and one person is handed over. Okay. And for certain conditions in which some people require, what do you say, for certain only some time they require a particular TNP. So although the rule says that you need to enter it into temporary record, but you can do this procedure as well. You can write it here, and when it comes, you can cancel it through mutual signature. It can remove certain weight on you, but if you want to obviously follow the procedure, then you'll have to enter it in 15 and 14. Ankit, I believe you have a question. पूछ सकते हो यहाँ पे भी. Ankit?
No, sir, I am not having any question right now. If
Okay.
having, then surely I will ask.
ठीक है. Okay. Similarly, mass items, I've already told you what their nature is. Nature of mass items is. Then this system of bin cards. Bin cards are not used in CWCs so far as I have encountered. I don't think bin cards are used. But if someone is using it, will be as per the CPWD laid out procedure. Bin cards are nothing like, it's different from TNP. It's also kind of record of receipt and issues, but it is item wise. Like it is for only one item. The TNP 15, 13, 14, they are for all items. Several items will be entered, but for bin card, only one kind of item is entered. And the bin card has a particular format, is called format. As you can see on the, we are not using it. So I have laid it for your understanding and reference, but will not be using it. So that I'm not covering it much. What usually happens in bin cards is whenever you are receiving, apart from TNP 13 and apart from TNP 14, 15, you also make entries into bin card. Bin cards are kept at where these items are kept. If you are receiving one, you can quickly update that you are issuing one from that. Sorry, receiving, taking one from that, increasing to two or whatever you say. Bin cards will be immediately updated. TNP 13, 14 must also be immediately updated as per the principle, but it is not usually the case due to several reasons which we already have discussed. And then during physical inspection, bin cards are also physically verified. Let's say a bin card says that there are X number of certain item Y. And if on physical verification it is not found so, then it will be a thing that needs to be reported to competent authority. So this is the format. How much is the balance? It contains storekeeper's signature, quantity in, quantity out. That is the case. So we'll go ahead. Receipt of materials. We have already discussed what MAs are. It is also again on basis of indent. Monthly summaries are made for this, like how much it is updated during the month. There may be issues. There may be what do you say? receipts or procurements, at the end of every month, it is better if at the end of the month account is released. Is anybody doing this? Anybody preparing the monthly account for MAS or TNP? Okay, I'll assume no. Okay, then we'll go ahead with the next section, stock taking. I've not covered TNP 15, I guess I missed. Okay, I'll go back. Sorry, just took out of my mind. Yeah, meeting चल रही है. Hello. Yeah. So TNP 15, if you remember, TNP 13 has all the receipts, TNP 14 has all the issues, and TNP 15, which is called the TNP ledger. TNP बोले तो tools and plants. I'm not sure why it is named as such. I'll always be like to enlightened, but it is as it is. So TNP 15 contains both receipts and issues. And at any point of time, it ensures that you can see the balance of that particular item. Usually, there are three parts in, not usually, there are three parts in TNP 15, part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1 deals with articles that you already have in your control. Part 2 is those items which have been temporarily given. Like you told now that your office needs to give it to higher authorities, then what do you do? Actually, as per rule, what you need to do, you have to immediately subtract those numbers and adjust the balance accordingly in both part 1 and part 2. Part 2, what happens? You have certain number of people who are your indenters. You will make a different list for all indenters. Like it will be indenter wise list. Like say, if any subdivision office is there under me, I'll make a list, separate list for subdivision 1 and subdivision 2. Then whatever temporarily, if subdivision 1 has taken, I'll keep that entering in part 2. Once it is being returned, it will be adjusted in both part 1 and part 2. Then part 3 is for those cases in which there are shortages, which need to be adjusted. I'd like to remind you, if during physical verification, if there are shortages in items, then you need not directly decrease the balance. Let's say if your list tells you that there are 10 items, but during physical verification it was found out that there are only 5 items. So you will not do that. You will subtract 5 and make the balance 5 on paper. Even there, if there is deficit, it will stay there unless and until due procedure for adjustment has happened through the approval of competent authority. It will stay there. Either it will be written off or recoveries will be made, whatever is the case, it will happen. Only then you are allowed to adjust it. And you have to mention in the TNP register and remarks section on what basis or on what authority you need to write that authority on which you have deducted these items. I'll show you quickly part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm assuming you have done this because in all offices there are TNP registers, and for those who have not, I've already put scanned copies of these forms. This is TNP part 1. You can see column number 1 is simple serial number. This serial number will go on 1, 2, 3. Every transaction. Let's say this page is for, let's say, a particular type of printer. Let's say I have 10 printers in hand. So when I have bought the printer, any receipt which when comes should be written in red ink. And always remember, these TNP registers need not be entered with gel pens. Please try and avoid, because these records are of permanent nature. Just in case of inks spillage or any water spillage, your records may be damaged. So please try and use black or blue pen for your usage, especially in TNP registers. So any receipt, except this is an exception, any receipt, when we receive items, we write it with red. When we issue, we write it with blue. So on receipt, there will be one line with red, which mentions.
Sir?
Yeah.
So actually, once all people suggested that don't use red ink pen, sir.
Red ink pen.
Yes, yes, sir.
For all everything.
Yes, for anything you should not use red pen. Either use black or blue, like they have suggested.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Can I have your name, please?
Sir, my name is Anand, sir.
Thank you, Anand.
Yes, sir.
We'll keep that in mind.
Okay,
So
sure.
we have been, like I told you, with precedence, we have been doing that. But since you have got an audit observation regarding that, so we'll keep that in mind.
But
We'll make
they have not
black and
written
blue.
paragraph, sir, but they have suggested that.
Okay. So they have not written paragraph.
Yes, yes, sir. They have not written paragraph, but they suggested only not to mention red ink pen, just either blue or black you can use for the bifurcation line.
I understand, because there's no written explicit warning for that wherever I read this. So I think that might also be the case of precedence, because in our place, like in Patna, LGBU, it was the case, and it is like years old precedence. But that is fine if you are getting this observation or comments, then we can stick to what they have said.
Okay.
Anyways, so we'll go ahead. Now you have to mention, if it is, bear in mind that it can also take receipts, it can also take issues. So either you'll be in all transactions should be distinct. Receipt should be different. It should not happen that if you have received two old printers and you are issuing one new printer, you cannot write it in one line. You will have to make it other line, one for the receipt of old printers and another line for the issue of old printers. That is how it goes. So if you have received it, you write it in 3A, from whom you have received it, and if you are issuing it, you write it in 3B, whom you are issuing it. Then TNP received sheet and date, or TNP indent date. We don't usually quote TNP indent date. It is CPWA form 7 or 8, if I'm not remembering correctly. You have to write TNP 13 if it is wait. Yeah, if you are receiving it, you have to write TNP 13, their TNP 13 details. Not your TNP details, sorry, where you are entering it. And the same TNP 15 details will be written in TNP 13. Both details will be in each other register. And if you are issuing it, you'll write the corresponding entry of TNP 14 in this column 4. And similarly, if there's no place in TNP 14, you'll write it in remark section, the page number and the volume of TNP 15. Then there are two kinds of transactions. One is permanent transaction, one is temporary transaction. Permanent transactions is of the nature, if you are receiving permanently, like it in a manner that it does not anymore belongs to you, and it is intended that it stays with them, then it is of permanent transaction. Temporary transaction is if it is temporarily lent out, then it is called temporary transaction. It may be lent out to other offices temporarily. It may be lent out to contractors temporarily. It may be lent out to your office, to your other sections within your office itself. In all those cases, there will be temporary transactions. Bear in mind, temporary transaction should not affect the balance, only permanent transaction. Temporary transaction means this thing is still with you, but for the time being, it is with somebody else. That is how we can do it.
Sir,
Yeah.
from headquarters, we issue something to accounts branch or correspondence branch.
Yeah.
That will be written in temporary transaction, right?
Yes,
sir?
yes, yes. I'll show you an example. I have one example. I'll show you. Okay. I was coming to that itself.
Okay.
So I have an issue. I need to. What do I say? I forgot to rotate it, and it won't notate now. Wait, I have another way. Yeah. Is everybody able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay. Also, this is a particular item, scanner. This one confusion as well, whether you can club different scanners or not. You can, but in the remarks, you have to mention what scanners do you have. Like here, I mentioned in the 12th section. It is as per precedence. There's no set rule for these. Such minor rules are not mentioned anywhere, as per my understanding and knowledge. Whatever is the case, I'll show you some examples here. The first line is that of the receiving. Here, from whom it is mentioned is written, measures Magnum Computers. Then the entries are mentioned. And then the value is also mentioned. How much it was paid for and what is the date of procurement, DOP. Okay. TNP 13 also mentioned here, which volume, which page number. Then it was, see, yeah, our TNP is a little different than the standard TNP, so you won't get that 3A, 3B. But here we have mentioned. Anyways, then we have issued. Since it is an issue, it will be mentioned in TNP 14. Whom are we issuing to? It is for some subdivision. It is for Bagalkot subdivision. It is a permanent transaction. So the earlier the balance was 5. You can see if here. Now, since we have issued 1, it will become 4. And then you have to mention total receipts and total issue. Okay, one more thing I learned right now, that you can do simultaneous transactions as well as per this TNP. Like if you are receiving case the case that I told you, that you cannot do simultaneous transactions, like not receipt and issues in one go. Here it is saying that we can do this register, but I'd always advise you to do it discreetly. It will be easier to understand. So here there is difference in balance because it is permanent transaction, and in this case we are issuing it to SRA, UCWQL. It is a subsection of the of my office itself. So we are lending him temporarily. We are, even though we are issuing him, but we are not changing the balance. That is the case. Similarly, things are done, and at the end, every year physical verification happens once. I think it is in the period of September or October, if I remember it correctly. Then any independent officer, and this independent officer should not be anywhere insubordinate to the person who's holding the accounts, and he should be totally independent in all respects. So he'll come. Generally, what happens in CWC is different subdivision engineers, like subdivisions cross-check each other's TNPs. they'll look for the records, they'll physically verify and then certify like this. Physically verified and found correct. This has been certified by one of our subdivision engineers.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. So this was TNP 15. In case there are other issues for you, we can always discuss it even after this session or whenever you come. I'll share my number that I told you already. Okay. We have already gone through this. Okay. Now we're going to talk about this physical verification. It's generally done in the month of September. Some places I hear October. What is the usual timing of your TNP verifications? Gentlemen, ladies, please share.
October to September, sir.
September to October, etc. Okay. Is it done regularly? Or sometimes you guys miss?
No, sir, regularly we are doing.
Because this is a very big audit para, whether it is internal, whether it is CAG, if you're not doing it, you'll always get an audit para and there's no running from it. It has to be done. These verification rules can be different for different departments. These are the lines from Central Water, CPWD. So they're saying that these verification can be different. For Central Water Commission, we are doing it usually in the period of September, October. Generally, executive engineer issues a office order for conducting these physical verifications and these get completed. Okay. Now they are saying whom not to entrust this responsibility to, like who cannot do this. First, the custodian, like if you are keeping stores and you are verifying, it does not make any sense. Okay, neither you nor your subordinates can verify this. Even the person who's not familiar with the classification, nomenclature, or handling of these stores, they must have good idea what TNP and MAS stores are. So they can understand the notebooks. That is the whole point. So they cannot, such people who do not have these understanding may not be interested for verification. It not be left for low paid staff. These are very vague. There's no definition who is a low paid staff. It's actually relative. So you can ignore this part. But what is important is these stores are to be verified by an independent officer. That you have to remember. Okay. And I've already told you about deficit and surplus. Surplus is treated as receipt. It must be entered in TNP 13. Deficit is treated as issue, but only after approval. Now, the point which you were saying that sometimes you have to issue. The rule that says CPWD, the rules are quoted here, that whenever, sorry, this is different rule. I just misjudged. We have already discussed this. The stock taking bin card is there. I've already told you about bin cards. Form 13. Survey of stores. This is the one I was talking about. Unserviceable items needs to be entered or needs to be verified through survey of stores. We'll cover that later. I'll just go through this particular survey report. Quantity is there. Description of the article is there. What is the present book value? I think it's not the present book value. And then remarks of the officer in charge. Here, JE has to sign and countersign by SD or AD2. Date of receipt is mentioned here. Remarks of the order. This column is signed and remarked by executive engineer. The last column is of superintending engineer. Okay, TNP. General principles. We have already discussed this, that losses are treated as deficiencies. And as soon as it is brought to the attention, as soon as it is detected, these deficiencies or surplus, they need to be informed to the higher authority, like the divisional engineer, and action needs to be taken immediately. I told you already, part 3 of TNP 15 has columns for maintenance of deficiency records, and surpluses are for receipts in part 1. What are the modes of clearance of deficiencies? Of the records, sometimes what happens if an item is missing, let's say it is found that an item is missing, either similar item is replaced or even broken chunks. It may happen that certain item has broken and not all of it is found. Maybe it may be found in partiality. So in those cases, it is assumed that the item was there, but since because of damage, it is in pieces. So that is one way. And how it is adjusted. If it is found that this loss has been caused by the person in charge or by whoever the loss has been caused, and it is being proved, it has been proved, then that recovery of that amount needs to be made from that person concerned. And later on, after all the procedures, those items will need to be written off the record. Written off means it is no more into your accounts anymore. Then this measurement book, I think we are way past our timings. Should I continue or is there break? Because I'm not physically there, I'm not knowing. Hello? Hello? What happened?
So 5 minutes of break will be needed, sir.
Okay. Take 5 minutes. We'll come back.
Sure, Anurag, we can take
Sir.
a break. Definitely,
Sure,
we can take a break.
Sure, sir.
So, but just let us know in how much time we should return.
Sir, I think 5 to 10 minutes should be enough.
Okay, so we will be back at 4:50. That will be fine.
Sure, sir. It will be.
Okay, so all the participants, please stay connected. We will resume at 4:50. Thank you.
Okay, sir.